Hey there. There are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to thinking about a startup or imagining yourself to be in the startup space. And I wanted to share some of that with you today. I must have had one or more of these misconceptions myself before or during the early stages of my own startup journey. The first misconception is that overnight success in the startup space is pretty common. If you go through LinkedIn or any kind of media that covers startups, most of the headlines revolves around how fast a company was able to grow, and that each of those companies represent practically an overnight success. For example, a startup gained 1 million users within a week, or a startup's ARR went from 0 to 5 million within a month, and stuff like that. So that because of the frequency in which it is covered in the media and how it's celebrated, there is a misconception that unless you achieve that kind of overnight quick success, then your startup is not worth the paper of its documentation. So that's a pretty common thing. But I have to say that because being in the startup world, I get to interact with hundreds, if not thousands, of other startup founders who are at different stages of their growth. And I can tell you for a fact that overnight success is not common. I would go as far to say that overnight success is not even success. It is just a snapshot of your journey that is being featured or highlighted. Even when I put out content saying that, hey, I've signed a major customer or my revenue has increased, and any of those stories, it may seem like it's just a snapshot, but it's just a very small step towards your growth. And so overnight success does not have to mean a tremendous increase in your revenue or a tremendous increase in the number of customers, but it could also mean a small step towards your growth. And it is important to celebrate all of them internally and with the world as well. But I have to tell, overnight success is not common at all. The second misconception is that a great idea is usually enough for you or for your startup to succeed. As you may know already, good ideas are a dime a dozen. There are hundreds and thousands of ways in which you can think of or you can conceptualize ideas. But a great idea, even if it may seem great to you, or even if it may legitimately help save each and every dying person on this planet, it is still not worth anything unless it's executed, unless there's a tremendous amount of work that goes behind developing that idea, executing that idea, and also convincing others that it is a good idea. So when startup founders tell me that they are scared to share their ideas in the fear that someone else may steal that idea and run with it, I would say that that fear is largely unfounded, because the majority of the probability of success of a startup depends on execution, depends on perseverance of the founders, and depends on a vast amount on luck. And so all these things, some of them could be developed over time, some of them you just have to be patient and wait it out. The third misconception is that entrepreneurs are born, not made. Oftentimes you see that a lot of entrepreneurs are fortunate to have grown in a family of entrepreneurs, or have the fortune or have the good luck of growing in a family with means or with the finances to support the entrepreneurial dream of a person. And you might think that, oh crap, if someone had given me $100,000, $1 million, and let me run with my idea, I would have definitely become successful. And so the thought that there are a certain set of characteristics that a person needs to have to succeed. For example, you commonly hear things that, hey, a person needs to be an expert in a particular field or have had years and decades of experience to succeed. A person needs to be perseverant. A person needs to be a good salesperson. So there are all these thoughts that people often say are a common thread towards successful entrepreneurs. But I would push back against that by saying that most of these features, characteristics, or personalities can be developed with the right amount of patience, with the right amount of perseverance as well. And I'm of the strong belief that entrepreneurs are not born, they are made. They are developed over time, and they become a fruit of the journey that they push themselves to pursue. The fourth misconception is that rapid growth is essential. That again is a very commonly highlighted features of startups in media. And so the idea that a startup is successful only if it grows 5x, 10x, 30x year over year is again patently untrue, because of course every startup wants to grow fast. Of course, given how small they are, given the flexibility that startups have to pursue new ideas and thoughts, that they would be expected to grow fast. While it is true, it is also true, being a startup founder myself, that there is a lot of trial and error that goes behind each and every aspect of running a startup, including product development, including building a team, including self development, including product market fit. In some cases, you are lucky and you're able to achieve one or more of these things pretty fast. In most of the cases, it takes time, it takes a lot of falling down, and it takes a lot of picking yourself back up. And this usually takes time. And so, rapid growth, in my opinion, is not essential. What is essential is, like everyone says, getting up after you fall down. Because in a startup journey, you will fall down a lot of times. And the last misconception is that entrepreneurs do not have a personal life. They have to hustle 24/7. They have to dedicate their life and soul towards their startup. This again is perpetuated by media. Time and time again, with all the founders that I've spoken to, even VCs who have invested in founders have told that a startup founder cannot perform as is his or her 100% unless they have a fulfilling personal life, unless they have a reason to push themselves, unless they have a reason to go back and unwind and have a strong personal family support or friend or community support to really push themselves, especially when they're down, especially when things are not going right. That helps in preventing burnout, that helps in giving perspective to crucial decisions that may require some time to unwind as well. So in the initial phases of my startup journey, I obviously had less responsibilities than I do now. I was not married at that time, and so obviously I had a lot more time to spend with my startup, a lot more time to go out, a lot more time to introspect, do market research, and so on. That's not to say that I'm not spending any less time. I am still spending a lot of time doing CEO things like reaching out to people, partnering with people, building my own startup, supporting my team in any way I can, and so on. But having a personal life, or let's just say sacrificing yourself or pushing yourself to spend more time with your family, is, in my opinion, crucial, not just for your and your family's personal well-being. I think it is crucial for the well-being of your startup as well, the well-being of your company as well. Because as a startup founder or someone working in startup space, if you don't feel fulfilled, if you feel burnt out, if you feel that you have to sacrifice hours and days and weeks of sleep to succeed, then probably you're not in the right field. So these are the common misconceptions that I've heard or personally felt like being in the startup space. Hope this has been helpful.